Welcome to day 102 of our BitClout journey. Yesterday was Independence Day, and many of you probably celebrated with fireworks. And Diamond Hands made a post thread yesterday, which kind of outlines some fireworks of his own in the coming months ahead on BitClout. Brian, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, so we already knew that their intentions, the core team's intention, was to eventually hand off the front end of everything to third-party developers, like whoever's working on the platform, whether it's CloutFeed or Flick app or whoever's going to come on board eventually. But yesterday, Diamond Hands made an interesting post, and he just wanted to remind people that eventually they're going to shut bitclout.com down. The entire node will be shut down, and they will rely on these third-party developers to push things forward. And it just goes to show that they are not... The bitclout.com is not what this is all about. It's about the BitClout blockchain. And Diamond Hands pointed out several things there was a pretty long thread, and it was an interesting read. He pointed out that the success of the Cloud coin is what their, I guess, motive is in pushing things forward. So it's not bitclout.com. bitclout.com isn't what they see as the future of their own personal success, but their development of the blockchain will push forward, I guess you could say, a whole ecosystem of developers. And as the number of transactions increase, meaning more users enter the blockchain and start using the blockchain, the higher the price of Clout will be, which means that they will get an incentive themselves from that. And everybody else, all the developers and the users will too.
Like the other day they talked about how they're going to release a new design for bitclout.com. And the key is that it's going to be open source. So even when they shut down bitclout.com, or I don't know if they're going to completely shut it down, but the social network aspects of it probably eventually will. And we'll be using third-party apps, third-party websites that use that blockchain. That design can be used by other websites. So I think they're creating that for other nodes to use, and then we'll see it evolve. Since it's open source, other developers will be working with that design to kind of add new features, add their own aspects of design aspects to it, whatnot. So I think it's really exciting. And Diamond Hands also said that they're not going to stop working on the back end. They're still going to work on the back end of the blockchain and everything behind the website. So other nodes can still add new features. BitClout will add new features that are capable on the blockchain.
Yeah, and not only are they going to continue to work on the back end, which is the blockchain, but I think his message is that by not having to worry about the front end, bitclout.com, and running the node and advancing the node, they can spend all of their time working on the blockchain and the back end and all the data and how the data is stored and how the data is utilized and how other developers can take that data and make it their own and put their own spin on it. And he likened it to Ethereum and how Ethereum has done that for finance. And the core team of Ethereum, they aren't working on any front end, anything with the front end. They're working on these blockchain type projects, which allow like Uniswap and all those other things that Ethereum is running on, or are running on Ethereum. So I think that's a good analogy.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to see NFTs come to the platform. My guess is that NFTs come before the design change and before BitClout kind of moves away from their website. But in reality, they could implement NFTs on the platform after they get rid of the website, because that's all back-end stuff. And the developers, the third-party developer, can connect to that back-end, the blockchain, to implement NFTs on their own nodes. But I think NFTs will be part of the new redesign that they have. So my guess is that happens within the next few months. I think sooner, but I mean, who really knows?
Well, and it's interesting that Diamond Hands did kind of throw out a timeline. He didn't say they're gonna cease using bitclout.com in a few months, but he basically said that we have at least another few months before they will consider getting rid of bitclout.com and turning things over to these new nodes and new third-party apps and developments.
Yeah, so I think that's a good place to leave. I don't think there's been any other big news, but I think it's all good things happening, and I think we're going to see Big Cloud continue to evolve. So
Yeah.
we'll talk to you tomorrow.